What's good? It's your girl D of Develop Designs. Welcome back to Wix Wednesdays, where we highlight one Wix feature you must have on your website. If you missed last week's episode, we discussed integrating Wix Chat to make sure in your business something or you are available 24/7 in some capacity. That is what the Wix Chat was for. But this week we are discussing the Wix AI Chat, which is basically the same concept, except of course it uses AI. Let's get into it. Before we get started, two things that I want to make note of. One, if you install Wix AI Chat on your site, but you already have the Wix Chat that we installed last week, you will have to go into the editor and remove the Wix Chat version. These are two separate apps, and one would not automatically override the other. So the second thing I want to make note of is the key difference. Of course, one has AI, one doesn't, but what does that exactly mean on your end? So last week when we integrated the Wix Chat, remember we filled out that frequently asked questions that consisted of 5 different questions. And remember, we had those hours set where if it wasn't in between those hours, it will automatically just send a form to you. Well, this one is a bit different. So you can program it more so to answer questions for you, not necessarily where if you don't have those frequently asked questions, then it's just going to not answer. It's going to answer based on content that you currently have on your website and basically how you train it. But let's get more into it so it'll start to make sense. So of course, you're going to start off in the Wix editor and search for Wix AI Site Chat. Once you install that, you will then be taken to the editor where you then have the option to finish setup. So on this screen, I'm going to go ahead and click Add to Site. So next I'm going to click on settings, and then we're going to start with layout. So the layout and the design as well as the text is basically going to be what do your customers see when they land on your website and they go to open this. You do want to customize it to your liking and based on your business needs, and also keep in mind brand consistency. So your colors, imagery, anything like that, you want to make sure you implement it for the chat as well. You could play around with this. I'm not going to go too in depth for this part, but it's there for you to basically modify. What we are going to get into though is managing and training the AI chat for your business. So you're going to click on manage the AI chat. And this is going to take you to the AI Site Chat dashboard. So as you can see here, it does show that AI Chat is inactive. You do want to go ahead and turn that on. Next, similar to how the regular chat was, we can keep it online 24/7, or you could set custom hours. For this sake, because it's a chat, we do want to be available 24/7 to our customers in some capacity. I am going to leave this on to 24/7, and that's the purpose of the chat, so you can be available, right? Next, we have when the AI site chat is online. Basically, what would you like it to do? In this case, because we are leaving it on 24/7, that is not needed. Next, you have your intro message for your chat. You do want to completely erase this whole entire thing and make a message dedicated to your customers so that even though this is AI chat, it does feel a bit personal and on brand. I am not a lawyer. I do not give legal advice, but I will say what I did for my website. So I did make it known, similar to how they have the message here. Please note that this chat is powered by AI technology and mistakes may occur. I basically used that, changed the verbiage a little, just so that I am being honest with people and letting them know that it is AI. And from there, they also have the option to proceed and use this chat, or it does state that they can reach out to me directly at info@developdesigns.com. I would recommend letting people know in some way or fashion, whether that's your headline or like it says here, a legal disclaimer, letting people know that it is AI, because whether you like it or not, or whether you want to use it in your business or not, there are some people who are completely against it, and that's a conversation for another day. But you do want to be upfront and honest about it so people can make that decision based on their own desires. Next, we have the contact form. Basically, what do you want to collect from your customers when they're using this chat? For me personally, I wouldn't collect the phone number. I just do like email, message, and maybe name too. You definitely want to know who you're talking to. I have experienced in the past where people have like kind of spammed my site or used it to sell their services. So yeah, I use that information to make sure you're blocked. You're blocked. You're done. So it's just something to keep in mind that you may get responses from AI chat or even the regular chat from people who are not your customers. So depending on what you want to collect, that may be something that you want to think about as well. So next we are going to kind of move backwards and go to quota. So with AI site chat, and especially with everything, the way we're moving in the world, there's a price for everything, right? So with this AI site chat, you are giving 50 chat conversations before your chat will automatically be offline. So that is something that you want to consider depending on where your business is currently. If you feel like there are people that are constantly messaging you already or constantly on your website, then maybe the AI chat isn't the best route to go unless you choose to upgrade it from the free plan. But starting off under the free plan is just 50 conversations. Then you have 10 training rules that you're limited to. So if you feel like you have a business where you are going to have to train this AI chat extensively, then that's another thing you may want to consider upgrading. Now, as far as the plans go, here are your options. You have the basic for $9.99, going from 50 to 100 conversations per month and going from 10 chat rules to 100 chat rules. And then you have your other two options at $19.99 a month and $69.99 a month. But I would recommend, just starting off and getting an understanding of if you even want to use it in your business. I would start with the free version and go from there. Going back to the dashboard, next we have those 10 training rules that I just mentioned. You have two types of training rules. One, you have add knowledge, where you can add extra details about anything on your site. Or you have restrict responses, which is where you'll explain to AI which topics on your site you don't want to discuss with visitors. So for this example, we're just going to go with create a knowledge rule. So I'm just going to put testing. Oops, see if I can spell. And then the next is write all the information that AI should know about this topic. So one thing, for instance, that I'm asked is, when booking a consultation, what does it consist of? Like, what are the expectations, or what are next steps after the consultation? How does the process work? So I would basically detail my complete process. You don't want to give away too much information, especially if you feel like something is unique to you and your business, but enough where a customer is willing to get started with you based on these answers. So I would put in this information. You do want to make note that there is a 40 characters minimum. It doesn't say that there's a maximum, but if you reach that point, then I would recommend doing the second option, which is uploading a PDF or a docx file. But going back to feeding the topic with that first option, just writing it in or copying and pasting. So going back to the example I mentioned where people ask questions based around my consultation, right? I'm putting in my process from beginning to end to basically get them started up until the point of where they're booking that consultation. If they're not a customer of mine, there's maybe a certain process where they don't need to know until they actually become a customer. That information I wouldn't detail. So whatever you feel like your customers should know or you should communicate with them before potentially becoming a customer, then I would use this. Now, the reason I'm specifying before they become a customer, because there is another option within Wix AI Chat where you can set a chat to only site members. So let's say for my business, I have clients, right? I can set a chat and train a chat specifically for people who are my clients, meaning they'll then have to log in, of course, and once they're logged in, they'll be able to use this chat. So depending on if you're allowing this chat for all of your customers or potential customers who access your site, or if you're restricting this, you do want to make sure you're feeding information based on those two different audiences. So next is test chat, right? So based on that response that I did not put in about consultations, You could then turn around and test it to see how it responds so you can continuously improve it. So as you can see with the test chat, I asked, how do I book a consultation? Now, in a previous video, I did put a frequently asked question that says, how do I book a consultation? And it said, just book it. So as you can see, that is why we're getting this response that says, booking a consultation is easy, just book it. On our website, to schedule your appointment, make sure to check our business hours before booking. In my opinion, this doesn't really make sense, but it doesn't make sense because of something that I previously did in a different video. So let's go with a completely different question. What are your business hours? Our braiding services are available on Thursday and Friday from 7:30 p.m. to overnight, and on Saturday, Sunday, 12 p.m. to overnight. Please ensure your appointment falls within these hours before booking. Everybody say, hey, audio. Bye, Oreo. All right, so as you can see here, it has a thumbs up and thumbs down feature. If you feel like this answer is good based on what you know you have on your website, then you could go ahead and put the thumbs up. But let's say I want to do a thumbs down. It's going to then ask you to tell us more. Whatever you put in, let's say that the hours were incorrect. I'm going to put incorrect, and I'm going to explain why it was incorrect and what the right answer is. You also have these other options here to say that the response was irrelevant, or that AI shouldn't answer this question, or it's okay, but you want to add a way that you can make it better or enhance the response. So you could choose an option explaining why it isn't a good response, and then tell it more, and then you have the button at the bottom that says train the AI. And setting it up is as simple as that, right? One thing I do want to mention though, similar to the last chat, as you can see at the top, it says to check messages and join the conversation, you could go to your inbox. At any given point that you're just like, I'm not liking how AI is responding to my customer in this moment, you can go to your inbox and see the dialogue between AI and your customer and interrupt it. As you can see, your response or AI's response on one side and your customer's response on another. It's as simple as that, right? Quick and easy. So question, are you going to go ahead and integrate the Wix AI Chat on your site, or are you just going to keep the one that we discussed last week, the standard version? As of right now, I don't believe there are any talks of getting rid of the other one. Again, some people like AI, some people don't. Honestly, it's the future. It does have its pros and cons. Conversation for another day. But ultimately, I do feel like it is here to stay for the time being. But are you going to use it in your business? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and see you here next Wix Wednesday, where we talk about one Wix feature you must have on your website. If you have something burning in your mind, like, I think I want to add this to my website, I'm not quite sure what it is, let me know in the comments, or you can email me at info@dbelladesigns.com, and who knows, you may see a video on your topic next. See you next time.